This is a replica of what I believe the first printing press looked like when it was developed by Johannes Gutenberg in the mid-15th century. Do you know what that is? Printing press? Well, it's a machine that puts words down onto paper pretty quickly.
Okay.
Like, what do we have that does that today?
Typewriting.
Yeah, typewriter. It kind of works the same way in the fact that it makes a giant stamp. Now, that's not to say, though, that this is the beginning of printing. Printing has existed long before this time in other countries, like China and Korea, for example. What this essentially did was kind of make it more viable for mass production. So basically, making multiple copies. But as I said, it basically works like a reverse stamp machine, putting the stamp here with these multiple individual pieces. Each one a letter, making out templates. Because with multiple pieces, you can make multiple pages.
Did they have the alphabet back then?
Yeah. So, keeping them in cases, for example. That also was a big difference. Because, of course, the characters used for a language like Latin, for example, had less characters than a language of China or Korea. So, kind of considerably less. But after arranging them, you of course have to put ink on top. So, I'm going to put ink like this over it in a nice smooth layer, just like that, so that I have it all covered. Now, what would have been used in his time are these ink-blotting stamps, but I'm using the rolling pin just because it's easier. Then, of course, you need your page, which is in this frame. You don't want it moving around on you, and you want the stamp to go in exactly that spot each and every time, right? You put it on top, and then, of course, what you need also for a stamp is what?
Pressure.
Well, why is it not a good idea for me to do that?
Because you need more pressure.
Need more pressure, yeah, exactly. And that's a lot of energy.
And that's
for
a
me
lot
to
of
spend,
energy,
right?
yeah.
And I'm not getting the whole page.
Right.
So what's going to help with that?
Oh,
The
wow.
screw. When the screw tightens, it goes down.
Uh-huh.
Creates that pressure. And this device down here called the platen is going to make sure it's distributed among the whole page. But also, it makes sure that you don't get a turning motion like the screws do. It stays nice and still, so it just goes down nice and smooth. So, if I put this underneath the screw, give it a twist, I'm not even spending that much energy.
Oops. Oh, wow. Wow. Excellent. Beautiful.
So, a big difference this made. Now, books like the Bible, for example, did take a little bit of time to make, even with this process. However, the way that they were doing it before this was writing it all out by hand. And it could take 2 to 3 years to produce just one Bible that way.
Wow.
But with this process, we're told that Gutenberg was able to make something closer to 180 copies in that same amount of time. So basically increasing production. And when you have mass production, you can give it to more people.
Right.
And that can increase accessibility to something like a book. Now, very, very slowly throughout time does it become a bit more commonplace. Because again, this is a time when people really can't read, and you still need to be pretty wealthy to afford something like a book. But how is that different from today? With technology added onto machines like this, now Bibles and books, they become more commonplace. Nowadays we have libraries full of books, textbooks for schools and magazines, newspapers. You still even hear it. Power of the press. So what's something else you might compare a printing press to? Absolutely a typewriter or... Yes, exactly, because you're able to share knowledge with more people than before, like how the internet has affected society.
Wow.
Thanks to techniques developed for thousands of years, leading up to the printing press, leading up to the printers we have today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any questions or curiosities
So-
or criticisms?
How much is this? Like this whole thing?
What do you
How
mean?
much does this worth? Like this machine
How much does it
is worth?
work? What do you mean?
Like the price of this.
Price of this? Oh, I don't know.
You know.
I don't know how much this costs.
That's a good
But
question.
it was created by a
Because-
developer in Texas,
right,
I
uh-huh.
believe.
And it's
Using-
very rare to find this.
Oh no, this is a replica.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
because we really don't know what Gutenberg's printing press looked like, so we kind of do have to guess. Scholars think that it might have been based off of something like a wine press at the time. He was born in Mainz, Germany, wine country, so
Right.
we would have seen machines that use this screw technique.
The
Exactly.
principle is the same, but
Exactly.
like it's just that.
Yes, exactly. So really, Gutenberg is like the Henry Ford of printing. He doesn't invent it, but he innovates a way to make it better for commercialization, essentially.
Okay.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
very
Thanks
welcome.
for that information.